Hello, how are we? Can you? Alrighty.
There we go. Now I'm unmuted.
Alrighty, we have two more joining us.
Brilliant.
Unmute.
Sorry.
That's okay. We do it every week.
Force of habit from other meetings.
And we have one more that the audio is connecting, so we'll give him a moment. Can't hear ya. There we are.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay, cool.
Well, we're going to get the show started, and I'm going to explain to everyone that it's like a round table, and anything that is stated by anyone, please feel free to jump in and engage. It's a free intellectual dialogue regarding publishing and writing and the most amazing things we can think of. And we're going to have readers as well as writers, as well as publishers that tune in to listen to this. This shows up on YouTube tomorrow night, okay?
Awesome.
So fluff the hair, get ready, and we're going to get started, okay? Hello, everyone. This is Opus Night, and you have entered Night Vision. I have tonight with us three wonderful authors that have come to join us. We are going to be discussing everything from branding to marketing to these wonderful books and why they've written them. So I am going to start with David. David, tell us about yourself. Tell us about this lovely book that you've written.
Okay, well, I'm originally from Macon, Georgia. It's a beat up city down south. I moved to Atlanta for animation. I wanted to learn how to make cartoons. I had a cartoon I had been working on all my life, and I've drawn so much stuff. And I don't know if any of you guys know anything about animation, but it's pretty expensive. Like, you need like a team of 300 people just to make like a short, film. And I was like, how am I going to get this cartoon out? And then it hit me. I was like, why don't you just write? Just, put it in the form of a novel and see if you can get, generate a buzz. And I guess that's how it all started. I knew how I wanted the story to go, and I knew I needed to come up with like a nice way of, delivering the story. And that's how I just popped off. Like I just started writing book after book, and I knew I couldn't tell the whole story within just one novel. So I talked to one of my marketing agents. He was like, "You should just do a series, just run a series, and put them out 1 month behind the other, and just make sure you build a solid fan base." So that's kind of where I'm at now. I finished the first one, and it's supposed to drop in August, and I'm kind of excited,
Wonderful. We are so excited you could join us tonight. I love hearing when people are all over the country. I had someone not long ago, actually, from Minnesota. As far as Minnesota, I'm actually in Delaware. So, and I love Baltimore. So shout out to that.
Yeah.
So, Thank you so much for joining us. Now,
Oh yeah, thank you.
book available.
Yeah. Yes, I do. It's I got author copies, and I just pretty much just order them from Amazon. It takes them about 5 or 6 days, and they get here, and I just send them to people who you know kind of want to get a insight and read it before it initially drops in August. So yeah, I have them available in EPUB and on a mobile format and for ebooks as well.
Now, do you have your blurb that you could read for us?
I do. Let's see. I'm right in front of my computer. I can pull it up right quick for you. I got it all saved in one sweet area. All right, let's see. Right. Get signed in right quick.
Well, we're going to give you a moment, and I'm going to go on and talk to Jason for a moment, and then Leslie. Now, Jason, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm beautiful, always, always. As long as I'm having fun and as long as I have wonderful people to talk to, I have a blast.
I gotta say, I love that cape. Is that a cape?
Yeah, yes, I love it.
Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. Yes,
Just so
love it.
everyone else knows, he's joined me before, Jason has, and we have had wonderful conversations. And every single time, I believe you see me with a hat on.
Yeah.
So today I was like, you know what? I'm gonna free ball it and just kind of go. My hair's gonna go naked today. But Orpheus, who is my muse,
Good.
he's
Good.
wearing my hat tonight. So tell everyone about you.
Oh, well, I'm Jason DeGray. I'm a lifelong author and a lover of weird things. And so those are my passions in life. That's what I've always been seeking since I can remember. I've been telling stories, and I've just followed that through my life. And when I learned how to write, I decided I'm going to use that as the vehicle to start sharing the worlds in my odd brain with people out there. And so that's what I've set out to do. And I have a book out right now. It's called Eve, and bam, there you go. You can get this. You can get this wherever fine books or ebooks are sold. And I have actually some exciting news. I'm later this year. I have a re-release coming out of a paranormal series that I've been writing called the Ruined Man novels. And these guys have landed with the new publisher. And so the first 2 books in that series are going to be re-released. And I'm working on a 3rd book in the series right now that's going to be coming out probably sometime early next year. So exciting things are happening.
Congratulations. We're so proud of you. I'm glad you took the time out to join us tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. David?
Yeah.
Read that beautiful blurb to us.
I got you. All right. So when Agent Lawson gets a job in London, Crane, her known felon boyfriend, is left to raise their only child alone. After certain events send him over the edge, Crane attempts to quell his dynamic life. But just before this could occur, Crane is abducted by aliens. Now, trillions of galaxies away, a racial quarrel awakens a holistic nation, ushering death across the stars. Unfathomable possibilities unfold when Crane is molecularly augmented and shoved into this cosmic war.
I love it.
Wow.
That's awesome. Now, you said it's available all over.
Yeah. They're taking pre-orders now on Amazon. But I've pretty much just been, passing them out and just, getting some beta readers on it. Some last minute reads to see if, people probably want to give some insight about it. So, just before I make that initial launch, I kind of wanted to, please the readers here and now.
That's wonderful. I love it. Leslie?
All right. I am Leslie Konzati. I am from the Pacific Northwest. It's currently very warm out here. So, but I like the heat. I like the summer vibes. So that's really, it's really my cup of tea. So the book that I wrote is called Princess of Undersea. It's a fairy tale retelling. And I originally published this 4 years ago through a small press that since went out of business. And so then last year in October, I decided to turn it into a series of fairy tale retellings. And so this is book 1 of the Undersea Saga. And I'm self-publishing that. So it's available on Amazon, ebook and print. So
now what makes it, you said a fantasy?
Yes, it's a fantasy fairy tale retelling.
Okay.
So I'm retelling the story of the Little Mermaid.
Oh, I love it.
And so yes, so there's lots of mermaids in this series.
That's awesome. Did you want to read the back of your blurb?
Sure. Okay. Mermaid Princess Elaine has only ever wanted one thing: her father's recognition and approval. King Davor of Undersea, however, is obsessed with launching a war against the ignorant, pact-breaking humans. Elaine believes that if she can convince her father that not all humans are evil, he might listen to her and call off his plans for war. Such an outcome seems so far out of reach till the day she willingly trades a most precious gift to have the thing that she hopes will help her make peace between the realms: magic that transforms her into a human. Safe in the palace of Overcliff, Prince Nathan seeks his own comfort and dreads the day when the people of his failing kingdom will depend on him for their well-being. His father, King Theodore, remains distant and forgetful while the royal council runs things, and as far as the prince is concerned, he is free to continue doing as he likes. When a mysterious young woman arrives on the island, he begins to realize that all is not as it seems, and threats can come just as easily from across the sea as under it.
Beautiful. We love it.
Like that.
Now, Jason, you did not read a blurb.
Oh,
I am
man.
off that easy, my darling.
Pretty cover like that. We really want to blurb.
I was just going to be quiet and, let things go.
You thought I'd play with it.
All right. This is the blurb for Eve. Corporate Denver is a futuristic cesspool of crime, depravity, and excess. Those with status have access to the world's depleting resources. Those who don't struggle to keep one step ahead of death. Integration Technologies consultant Jacob Riley wades through the dystopian morass hunting people whose cybernetic enhancements have glitched and turned them into raving monsters. But a unique job opportunity sends this former family man on a quest to do something he swore never to do, to help the elites who oppress him. When he meets Eve, a hybrid genetically modified human who escaped from a corporate lab, everything he believes and holds dear is challenged as he plunges headlong into the shadows of a dying Earth, racing to stop the ruling elite's endgame for humanity.
We love it.
Ooh.
Yeah. See, this is why I demand people read things. I want the readers to be as excited as we are and want to look you up. And more times than often, I will have people go, who is that guy with the hat? Or who is that woman that has that one book, blah, blah, blah. And I know instantly, I'm like, haha, I know who they are. And I can direct. And it's beautiful because I love when I get to sit and talk with all of the readers, and more so the writers, because I can get in your mindset and know where you're thinking. And I love that. I love it. It's like I have the inside track.
Mm-hmm.
Now, David.
Yeah.
We're going to call you our new newbie.
Okay.
you're new to the show, and we want to know all about you. So what about branding, we're going to start with, excites you the most?
I think I know this is gonna sound weird, but I think colors. I really like colors when it comes to branding and the typography behind, you know, what you want to go with, the style and the look of it. I think about Superman a lot of times. Superman and Batman, those guys, they just got that one logo, that one image, and when you see it, you already know about it. You know the storyline behind it. You know, you see the brand and you know which character it is. You know everything just from that one symbol. And that's kind of what I wanted to generate. You know, with the name of the novel that I'm working on is called Evolving Crane, and I got with a designer, and this guy was, oh man, this dude was killer, man. He was, some of his stuff was just so awesome. And I told him, I was like, well, look, man, I want you to do the first novel, because I did the cover myself. And my marketing agent was like, yo, man, you can't brand with this. It's too, he used the word ecryptic, like it was you had to stare at it for a while in order to see what was going on. And that's not really, you know, good branding. So he was like, you know, get with one of my homies. This guy, he's flawless. And he was so right. He designed my front cover, and he came up with a whole different font for Evolving Crane. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the brand right there. The way he just added those colors to it, and it just, yeah, I wanted it on every one of my books. I had to go back and I had to change some fonts around and get with some other artists. I was like, yo, take that off, put this one on. But yeah, I think it's wonderful to have like a good brand. Yeah, something that sticks out.
Was it hard for you after you had done, like, you know, your cover and things like that, to have somebody come along and be like, no, we need to go in this direction?
It was really tough, man. Like I can't say that it was just you know, really strenuous, but it was time consuming, because the guy, he did like a whole media packet. So he had to go in to each file, strip the old title off, and put the new one on. And yeah, it was kind of time consuming, but I'm glad that I made the decision earlier, you know, because if I had waited and then tried to go back and switch it around, because you want consistency when you're branding. You don't want to have one thing, you know, with a logo that looks this way, and then you try to put out another book with a different logo. It's not gonna fly the same. So yeah, I had to go back and just take my time and kind of slow down, because I was rushing things, man. And when you rush, you make countless errors, you know. So I would say that it was extremely wise to even push my launch date back, you know, just to make sure everything was professional. Yeah.
Now, Jason, what are you using as far as branding goes? What do you think? What do you see as future branding?
Wow.
You've been with the writing profession for a long time, so I'm a little intrigued to find out some of your insights. Did I finally stump you?
There we go.
Dave? Did I stump you? Did you hear what I said, or did you just turn me off? What is your insights into branding, love?
Who, me?
Jason, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, everything just froze and then like crashed.
Difficulties.
I'm gonna pay him back.
Sorry. That's terrible. Insights into branding. I don't know. I like what David was saying. I mean, I like symbols, and I think that that's really important. That's what branding is about, right? That's what a logo is. It's a symbol that's recognizable and that people attach to to you. And so whatever that is for you, I think needs to be um, related to the message that you want to get out, right? And so that is the struggle for me, with branding, and that kind of stuff, because I don't write in just one genre. And so what can I do to get that recognizable thing out there, that is a symbol. It's not just my name. And so that's actually what I've been trying to figure out lately, trying to come up with is what's that thing that when people look at, I want them to say, that's Jason DeGray. And that's actually the struggle I'm in the middle of. So I haven't come up with the answer yet.
Leslie, your turn, love.
Okay, so I'm kind of new to the whole branding thing because so when I 4 years ago when I started out and had the small press publisher kind of a thing, it was actually, so Princess of Undersea was going to be part of an anthology, so I didn't have to do any cover designs, didn't have to think about that kind of a thing. And then when it got to the point where everybody who was going to participate in the anthology had to drop out, and I was the last author standing. So then the publisher was like, I did clear out I have some room in my work queue. I could just publish yours by itself, and eventually maybe we'd get back around to grouping them all together. And I was like, okay, great, let's do that. And so then for that first cover, I wanted to harken back to the classics and stuff, because I wanted to emphasize the fact that, I was using classic old fairy tales, and I just wanted to give that sense of history and lore. So it was a very minimalist cover. And I worked with colors and symbols, like that aqua color that it kind of has, that's kind of the running theme and stuff. And I really, really liked that kind of because it kind of gave that undersea kind of vibe, kind of a mermaid color and stuff. And I had the symbol, which was this special necklace that my Elaine has, Mermaid Princess has, and stuff. And so then it was using that as my cover, just kind of very, very basic. So then 4 years later, when I wanted to kind of relaunch as a series, I had the opportunity to redesign the cover. And so so this cover art was created by somebody I got connected with in another writers group. He's actually a local artist. And so he actually had a painting of a merman that he did. And I was like, that's it. That's the vibe kind of thing that I was going for. That didn't exist when I first wrote the book, but I described the merfolk in that way. And so then to actually be able to send him, I had some ideas I had some stills from some mermaid themed TV shows that I watched and loved the aesthetic of, that I could send him as for character references and design references and stuff like that. And so then he made this painting, and I was like, I need to use this for my cover because this is exactly perfect. So then to go from the standalone, just the book by itself, this is a mermaid story, to then expand. Well, it's going to expand. There's going to be more characters. There's going to be more worlds, kind of a thing. But I wanted to still have the same kind of vibe through the whole series, kind of a thing. So I've had a lot of fun, kind of I have on my desktop wallpaper is a screen with so it's going to be a 4-book series. So I have the 4 titles with the color scheme of the that I want for the cover, the main color scheme, and also like a symbol that kind of goes with it, kind of a thing, so that it'll look really good, like as a series all together, kind of thing. So,
well, you definitely came up with a beautiful cover. Like instantly, I knew that was a mermaid, and I was like, oh my God, that is absolutely gorgeous. Show us again so everyone can see it.
So there's the mermaid right there, and then he did a really good job making that necklace that I wanted right there, that it's like very obvious that it's right there and stuff. And I really like how like even the background he's got, there's a shark back there, and there's a couple scenes where she's interacting with sharks. And so I was like, that's really, really cool that he had that in there.
Isn't it awesome when things tie together?
It's so great. It's like, yay, I came up with a brilliant idea.
We love when that happens.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Now we're gonna talk a little bit about publishing itself. When you decided to publish your books and you hadn't written it yet, what was the very first thing that you came up with? The plot, the characters, the atmosphere that you wanted to build, the emotions you wanted to draw? Tell me. David? Dave? I'm gonna call you David.
Okay.
It's how my brain works. I have people that I haven't seen in 20 years, and they're like, don't you know me? I'm Snoopy. And I'm like, oh yeah. So please forgive me if I change your name on you.
It's but I think the first thing I came up with was the plot. That was like because it's so many plot twists in the story, in the series. It's full of agents, it's full of double agents, it's full of backstabbing, androids, all kind of low down dirty guys and here and there. And I wanted to make sure that plot was on point. I didn't want I didn't want readers to get lost, in the story. So I had to really focus on making sure that plot just tied together seamlessly. A lot of my writing started with the composition books. I didn't go straight to typing because I can't type worth of crap. So I stuck to just grabbing an ink pen and just writing, and I get a chance to do some research with words, and I can easily cross out a sentence and trash a whole page if I need to, and just keep writing. So I think before I could even publish, I had to go back and rework some of my novels. Oh man, that first novel, I just kept digging back into it because I would see little loopholes in some of the plots, and with from starting from one book to the third book, I would see some inconsistencies in the story. And I remember I had to move around entire chapters from one book to the next. It was ugly, man. But I took the time to make sure that it was right, before I even consider publishing. Because with time travel and stuff, it gets nasty when you try to do time travel, and you want one part of the story to link up to the next one, and some of you guys may go in the future while some may go back in the past, and you got to know where you're placing those characters. Yeah, man, it was, but I think knowing the plot and knowing your characters, knowing the storyline, and knowing where you initially want to go, where you want to end, that is like dire. It's one of the best things to have in your arsenal, just being able to tell where the story is going yourself. Because if it's confusing to you and you're the author, you got a problem. You gotta you gotta go in there and fix it. So I just wanted to make sure I did that before I did any publishing.
Now, did you do a lot of plotting when you like draw an outline and know specifically each one of those characters individually?
I did.
characteristic.
Yeah, I did. And I also wanted to make sure all of the characters communicated with each other. If I had to find a way to get each character to, talk to one of the other characters and get them the opportunity to engage each other. And, just to see how one character may react to the other character, it was a lot of prodding going on, a lot. And to make that presentable from one novel to the next, that was a challenge. That was a huge challenge because not all of the characters get a chance to communicate with some of the other guys, and it's something that has to be drawn out. It's, you do that over the course of the series. At some point, every character will have will have spoken to the next character. Yeah.
Now, did you get to celebrate your release?
No, it's in August. August the 30th. That's when the first novel released. I actually have a book here. You guys wanted to see that cool cover that guy.
Definitely.
That guy, man.
That is beautiful.
He was
I think I got one of your free ebooks coming.
Really?
Michael Evan. Yeah. on the fantasy sci-fi focus group.
Yeah, is that you, man? Are you serious? Oh
yeah.
Yo.
Oh, that's great, man. I'm excited to read it now.
Yo.
See why I do this show? I have a ball.
That happened. That is crazy. Oh man, I hope you enjoy it, man. Let me know what you think.
Oh no, I definitely will.
Thank you.
We're gonna come back and Jason's gonna review your book for you. How do you?
Yeah. Yes, I will.
And Leslie, we want to know what that mermaid's up to. I know when it comes back to me. It's Jason. I will always find something to plug personal, because readers love to know the inside track on their favorite authors. So we're going to go down the list, and someone tell us something about the book that's they're going to have to search for, but when they find it, they're going to love it. Jason, what does Eve have?
The chapter, I don't know the word for that, the term for that. Chapter, not chapter headings, I guess, all come from specific places. One is an epic poem, and another one is a history of a heretical group. And each chapter heading has a couple of sentences, from the poem and the history, and so you really have to dig into it. As a matter of fact, one of my readers that I let beta read it came back and said, I had no idea about these people. I was like, I saw that in the chapter heading, and I went and I looked it up, and I went down this rabbit hole, and thank you for opening my eyes to that. So that's something that I wanted to put in there, for that reason, subtle. And if the reader wanted to dig into that, that the breadcrumbs were there.
Awesome. Dave?
One thing that I used in my novel, and in the whole series, is I like for my characters to have they can speak different languages, and I have some Russian, I've got some German in there, I've got some Okinawa, different languages, and I figured that once I do have a fan base, and they're reading through the novel and they see some Japanese pop up in there, they're kind of gonna be like, what is this character saying? And I was really hoping that, they would just take some of that stuff and put it in Google Translate and figure out what the characters are saying. That's probably one of the biggest things I really wanted to keep you know, in each novel. Not a lot of it, but you know, just a little here and there, just, you know, like sort of like seasoning, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my book, my novel, Salacious Manifesto. I'm Italian, and I have my children, my family. When I was writing the book, it's technically about a mafia family.
Okay.
And it's basically, what would you do for your family? Would you die for them? Is the big question. And in writing it, I could not use the broken speech. I love it. I'm, you know, I'm impassioned when I haven't heard it for a long time, because, you know, my ex-husband, his entire family speaks very, very strong Sicilian. And when I myself, I can understand exactly what they're saying. And it's so funny because when it came to writing the book, I thought to myself, I know I'm going to have to translate this, and I know I want this to go to Italy, because if I have any critics in my life, you know, I am impassioned and love the idea of it, you know, of someone calling me on it, you know. But in writing the book, not so much the second one, but the first one, Salacious Manifesto, it all the way to the end, I have mafia bosses that are speaking, and I had so much fun with that book. Oh my God. It's my baby. I know you're not supposed to, you know, you got to let them go and this and that. No. I might be sharing it with the world, but it's coming home. Jason, do you have babies that you don't want to let those characters go? Have you killed them off? And just to let everyone know, I write dark literature. So my Salacious Manifesto is totally contrary, so to speak, because it's dark. There's no two ways about it. But is there characters, Jason, that you just didn't want to see die, but you knew it is time?
I see that coming with The Ruined Man when I start writing this third novel, and you know, I've already seen that in the story that I've fleshed out and stuff like that so far. That yeah, everybody's not going to be making it out, and you know, I loved those characters, and so yeah, that's going to be hard for me to do. You know, so much so that I, man, I don't know what I'll do as far as, you know, if I'm going to write a fourth book. You know what? Oh man, what? Maybe I'll go. You know, maybe I've already been thinking. Maybe I'll go back in time and you know, do some, you know, a story or a case from their past or something like that, and you know, just so I can still have them, and you know, that sort of thing, because I've like I said, I've already seen it, and I've already seen where it's going, and you know, these characters that I poured a lot of time and love into. Um, yeah, their journey's winding down. You know, they've dodged the Lord of Murder all they can, and you know, yeah, their time is short. So, yeah, that's definitely real. That's real life for me right now.
I'm one of those people that truly believes you have to bring your darlings home. You might kill them off, but I believe somewhere in the mix of writing, your their passions or their emotions, somewhere you're going to identify some other character down the line that you will know, you know, Lily's there, you know, or Lattice. Those are the two main characters in Salacious Manifesto. Now, Leslie, what's your thoughts, dear?
Well, as far as bringing characters home, I was just kind of laughing because actually the whole concept of even writing a sequel instead of a standalone, kind of, I owe it to my brother who read the story, and it's actually, so the main character of the second book is actually a side character that I kind of introduced and then killed off because it was like he was with a character that I was going to be like presumed dead but got rescued, and then but he was one of the ones that like did end up getting rescued, and my brother's like, why would you introduce a character and then he just dies and like whatever. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll think of some way of reviving him, and like he actually survived and he washes up on shore on the mainland, and so then he has to figure out how to get back home and everything like that. And so it's kind of like, one of those things where it's like as a standalone, yes, there were these characters that are supposed to be dead, but then it's just like in the next book it's like, no, wait, just kidding.
So, now, do you guys think it's because we spend so much time with them and the world building that they are like our babies? I mean, I write short stories. I have no problem with killing them off in a short story. I have no problem with poetry when it's there's poetry that is strong emotion and extremely dark. No problem. But in the novels, even at their worst, they're at their best in my heart. And I love it. I love what we do. And I think that if readers know that and you love the characters, they're going to absolutely eat them up. I truly believe that. Now, Jason, have you had anyone come to you and say, don't you dare ever get rid of this character? Because I've had it happen. I truly.
Well, actually, one of the, he was just a minor character really in Eve. And, one of my readers came back and said, I can't believe you killed off, I can't believe you killed this guy off. And I was like, what? Like, you really? Like, it's like, well, yeah, no, he was kind of there, he was kind of dead from the beginning, kind of thing. Like, I didn't realize that, people were, would get so attached to these, the characters that weren't exactly my darlings. You know what I'm saying? That like of the whole cast of characters, like, anybody that reads your book is going to connect with, not necessarily the main characters. Maybe it is one of the minor characters, and there's something in there, and there's something about that character that they really connect with. And so, as an author, I didn't see that because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't writing in that place with that character. But for the reader that came back and really surprised me with that and said, I can't believe you killed this guy off. And I was like, wow, I can't believe you loved him so much, because
and the realism in your character development is a little too good.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. It's a visceral response sometimes, though, because I've written poetry at times and have read it aloud, and I will have people come up and the first thing they say is, well, I love how you write, but I cried. I don't cry. Why did you make me cry? Like, I literally had a woman and I was dying. I could not, forgive me, I was laughing so bad. I turned around and I said, sweetheart, you realize I could rewrite it. I could rewrite it at any given moment. It's okay. They will live. And she was wonderful. She was like, but and I think it's that connection on such an emotional level you know, that depth that, and sometimes I think a reader really needs to, they're vulnerable when they're placed in these worlds. And I love everything about it, because it does makes you more conscious of the decision making when plotting stories, and the thought that goes, you know, into that, the emotions that I know I will evoke in someone. So I am so eternally grateful, you know, to that woman. And actually there was a gentleman one time that had said, I'm trying to think, he had asked me, he said, in dark writing, is there always this gothic overtone? And I said, there should be, in my opinion. And he said, well, you scare the hell out of me. He goes, I just gotta tell you. He said, you seem like a lovely lady, but you scare the hell out of me.
Like, well, thank you very much.
I'm like, thank you. Now, Leslie, have you met any of your readers that, or have they emailed you to let you know, based off of those favorite characters, how they made you or how you made them feel? Have you ever gotten that kind of expression back to you, that feedback?
Haven't really gotten into that as much yet. I'm hoping that it comes down the road, because I'm really looking for that and stuff, and just, you know, if people are picking up what I'm putting down, kind of a thing, because, you know, it's like a lot of these characters, yes, it's very intentional, and I want readers to realize, like, actually the role that they are meant, these characters were meant to play, kind of a thing. And just like, I remember, I think it was a beta reader or like my editor one time, highlighted something that like the villain said, kind of thing, before it's revealed that this character is the villain. And so, and he's like, I feel like this character is up to something. And I'm like, yep, yep, you're right.
You got it, Skippy.
That was good.
I love that. Jason, what's your advice for new writers?
Stick to the story. That's the best advice I can give. A lot of these people in the social media groups always talk about, you know, posting things like, I don't know what color my main character's shoes should be, or I'm stuck developing the geopolitical back history of this minor kingdom in my epic fantasy novel, and I'm stuck doing research and this or that. I mean, none of that is important. The only thing that is important is what is driving the story. Those are the only details that matter. I mean, and so, you know, and when you come to those details, if it really was important that your main character had a certain colored shoes, for instance, then you could get to the reason behind that and break through that writer's block barrier by playing the why game. You know, why should they be red instead of blue? You know, and just keep going there until you get to, you know, the reason that you're looking for, and the way that you can get through it. But yeah, don't sweat the small details. Stick to the story and focus on getting your reader through the story that you're trying to tell, and not on all the peripheral stuff, because that's not important if it doesn't drive the story.
Definitely. Dave?
Yes, ma'am.
Any suggestions?
Tell
us what your scope is.
I would say character development. That's like one of the biggest things, because we just got through, talking about characters and how readers can get attached to characters. I think, really putting some, for me, I pretend as if I'm one of my characters. Whenever I write from a character and he's doing his own monologue, or he's, he or she is responding, I think about, how this character behaves, how this character acts. and it's got to be, you know, a build up. It's got to be a climax with each character, because you know, no one responds the same way. You know, we all have different stimuli. One incident may occur and you may respond one way, and the same incident may occur with someone else and they'll respond a whole different way. So I think it's really big on you know, just characters behaving the way they would naturally. So character development, you know, plot twists, and you know, your characters are gonna help drive those plots a lot of times too. So that's probably my biggest thing, knowing where your characters are going, and if they do happen to die off, you know, you know, send them home in a good way. You know, go big or go home, or don't go at all.
Okay, Leslie.
Well, I think the thing that really helped me the most in developing my writing is I read a lot. I read a lot. When I feel like I'm burnt out in writing and stuff, and just the words are not coming and I don't want to force it, I remember that quote that says like writing is breathing out as much as reading is breathing in, and kind of a thing. And so, you know, I feel like, you know, when I get to that moment where I'm just like I've got no words left, I feel like I've breathed out all of my air, and I need to give myself that opportunity to breathe back in, to read. Doesn't matter what genre. I read in many more genres than I write, but I'm looking for, you know, good storytelling and just vivid descriptions and everything like that. So reading a whole lot in turn helps me to be able to write a lot, kind of a thing. I feel like I'm more focused and can pay more attention to my writing after I've read and kind of recharged my creative batteries a little.
So you feel as though the reading is actually driving your writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I do not read. No offense I love romance. I think it's a wonderful thing. I just don't read romance. Mm-hmm. Now the funny thing is, I can write a romantic scene, but you also know that it's going, there's a cloud of doom following that couple. Now, I do cinematics just for fun. And I have had people literally pull their car over and stop and watch a scene and Orpheus is primarily in it, or my daughter and my son and family members also play in, you know, different characters and things, and they're awesome and I love them dearly for indulging me. But it's the thing with writing and actually seeing the other side of it when you're directing those characters. They definitely come to life. And it's so funny because I have neighbors that they're used to me by now. They're used to my antics. They're used to seeing Orpheus hanging out the window when I'm driving down the road. They know this. It's not a surprise. And I sometimes get cocky and forget that when I'm in the woods somewhere or a park or whatnot, and, you know, we kind of draw a crowd, you'll hear the ooh, ah, and all this craziness, and it is, and the claps, and it's so much fun. Now, let me ask you, in plotting your characters, do those characters, after you have fulfilled what you want them to do in the book, do you have that little cheering section? Or do you give yourself a little dance or a high five, or what's your go-to pat on the back kind of thing? Because I know some authors will go out and smoke a cigarette, or some will go take have a glass of gin, a shot of gin. What's your little yes moment, Leslie?
I do a happy dance because I've been sitting and writing for a long time, and finally getting to the end of the book, it's just like, I have to move. I'm antsy, and I gotta go, and I'm dancing around the house, just cheering, and just like, I did it. So I do a happy dance.
I love it. Hey, Orpheus and I dance quite frequently, so I'm right there with you. I don't care if I'm in a grocery store and I feel like dancing because some jam came on. I'm happy. I'm good. Dave?
Oh man, my break moment is probably I will go to the grocery store and I will buy the biggest box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I will get the biggest gallon of milk. I come back to the house, turn on some cartoons, and just hammer it out, man.
Love it.
Yeah.
I asked this. You are never, I can't say I'm ever surprised, but that one kind of went, that one surprised me just a little bit. Good job.
Me? Oh, I still smoke a cigar and drink scotch.
I know.
That has not changed. That has not changed.
Hear what your big good job was. Now, everyone, I have had a lovely night, and I thank you for joining me and joining us, readers and writers and spectators. Thank you very much. I'm going to go down the line, and Leslie, can you start us off by telling readers how can they reach you?
So I have, my books are on Amazon under my name, Leslie Konzati. I have an author page on Amazon. I also have a Facebook author page called Leslie Konzati, the Upstream Writer, which is the name of my blog. So it's where I share blog posts and everything like that. And so so just remembering the Upstream Writer is kind of how you're going to find me on either blog or Facebook, that sort of thing.
Okay. Dave?
You can find me on my author website. It's www.davetheauthor.com. There's links to Facebook pages, there's links to some giveaways, there's links to the Amazon, so you can, find a novel there. There's a link to a image gallery with a lot of digital art that I've done for the cartoon. But yeah, you can find it all at davetheauthor.com.
Awesome. Jason?
Find me on my author website, jasondegray.com. And there's a Facebook page at Jason DeGray Author. And I'm getting a reader group started called Weird Worlds. This is also on Facebook. So yeah, come find me over there and let's talk about some great things. So that's where I am.
Sweet.
Awesome. Everyone, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Had a blast. And everyone, thank you. And we will see you next time on Night Vision. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.